Hey, what's up everyone? Today we have a generator here. It's a pretty decent little machine. Has Briggs on it. Somewhere here it tells you the specifics. Here we go. Excuse me. A Generac wheel horse 5500 rated watts, surge of 8500. The person that owns this wanted me to do a tune-up, and he said there's two things wrong with it in addition to the tune-up. One, he tried to repair that pull starter, but as you can tell, may or may not have worked very well, and after doing so, he told me that it doesn't spin over. Now, originally when he told me this, he didn't tell me about the pull starter until eventually I looked at it and I asked him if it happened before or after, and he said after. It was running, then the pull cord broke, but broke on the turn on the pull when he actually got started. The next time he tried to fix it, now it won't turn, so I'm hoping it just kind of bound up in there. In addition to that, he says that for whatever reason he uses this for like painting or using a machine for painting. He's a painter, so I don't really see a lot of paint on it, but who knows. Anyway, he says that he oftentimes charges batteries because he'll have to use like a Milwaukee drill or something, and for whatever reason this will not charge it. You plug it in and it just will not turn on. He thought it was the charger. He bought a new one, same exact thing, not charging. The machines work, everything works, so perhaps Milwaukee, there's a problem with the output of the generator, or Milwaukee doesn't like this type of generator output. I don't know. Either way, we're going to check the output to make sure it's appropriate. These style of generators aren't very clean in their power generation, so perhaps there's like a built-in feature that kind of stops it from damaging itself if it detects irregularities. I don't know. Not a Milwaukee technician, but what I can say is we need to get this pull cord started so we can at least hear it run, and then finish up with the tune-up, which is going to be easy. Spark plug filter, nonsense like that. Here we are. Looks like there's 3. Oh, that's just brilliant. We'll probably end up having to take this off anyway. Not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be riveted on. It looks like there's 4. Never mind. Do we just take it off? Probably should. What do we have here? Excuse me. Looks like we have 1 and 2. Something else. Looks like just 3. I'm going to take off the 3. 1 right here, 1 right there, 1 right there, and see if this whole piece comes off. I'll just take off this right now too. Maybe give us a little more room and kind of give us the idea of what we're dealing with. You didn't tell me when the last time it ran though. That's gas. That's not good. Something tells me it wasn't for a while. I didn't check the oil yet. Perhaps because that's a decent amount of fuel. The fuel is in the tank though. There's some type of fuel shut off there. Is it on? It is on. So So we're not going to take the carb off right now. I'm going to take off the cover real quick. So Briggs in their infinite wisdom decided to make it so you pretty much have to take the carb off. So let's go ahead and do that. And turn off the fuel. And we'll take the fuel line off. We'll probably spill a little bit, but at least we can gauge the age of it a little bit, hopefully. Hopefully you can see stuff, but unfortunately this is pretty big for my table. I don't smell anything quite yet. Could be fresh fuel. So they make these special bits. You need a E5 to remove these out. This is actually what holds the carburetor in place. You can try using, I think it's like a 1/4 inch socket. Ooh, now I smell it. It's kind of a little old smelling. But you run the risk of stripping this off pretty fast. You probably could get away with it like 1 or 2 times, but you are just asking for problems at that point. Don't know why there's tape on this. Probably because the choke doesn't work on it. It's missing something to kind of hold it in place. Oh, okay. So the deeper we dig, the worse it gets. Come on. There we go. That's usually what happens, though. Get off there. There we go. The gas that spilled on my hand doesn't smell too horrible, at least. It's definitely not perfect smelling, but it's not 1997 fuel. Like, good possibility of becoming, or good possibility of that actually occurring. There we go. I guess I didn't really need to take the carb off, but after seeing what we just saw, I'm kind of glad we did. Just need to bend this little shield down. Okay, well, disconnect the spark plug real quick. In fact, I'm just gonna remove the spark plug. See that? I think I found out the reason why it's not wanting to move. See? Moves. You in the direction that when you pull the engine, it goes. And look, it stops. It's hitting this. Looks like the end of a spark plug or something. A couple other metal bits in there. Let me get that cleaned up and then we'll see if it spins over freely. Okay, let's see. So far so good. Yeah, that was our problem. So I think since we have the carb off, and if we don't clean it, we're gonna have to anyway, I say we at least take a look at the carb and get that cleaned up. I think I might take a fuel sample as well right now. And that's what we got. It looks very, very fresh. The little pieces was already in the cup, so we obviously have a few problems with this going on here. But we'll take care of that later. That's what came out of the carb. It's gonna leak a little more, it's okay. Let's grab a flathead. That doesn't feel too good. That was in there tight. So is that one. Wow. It seems pretty clean. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I'm gonna put that back together. Yeah, it's fine. And then we'll take a look at that choke lever and see what we can do. Now that's done, let's try to figure out what's going on with this. Let's take these out. I may have to solder it back in. I don't think this is weldable. Could be. Don't know. Break out the good old soldering iron. Plate should come right out. This should come right out. Okay. Now if we do have to do anything, we don't have to worry about catching ourselves on fire. Okay, so there's one way of figuring this out. Well, a way of figuring this out. Potentially could. I don't really know how much I like that thin material right there. I don't know if it's take this off. It's pretty much trash anyway. We want it to be down like that. Yeah, that's the problem right there. That's steel. The rest is not. Don't know why you would do that, but they did it. So let's figure this out. So we want to put in like this, because that's no choke. So that's choke. That's open. Okay. So we want to do like that. Let me get this cleaned up a little bit first. Rebend this. Maybe not. Maybe I won't rebend it. But I do need to at least mark this. That way I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get this soldering iron prepared. 'Cause, 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 'cause And then we'll see if we can't just put a big old glob on the bottom of it right there, and then kind of match it up to the top. See if we can't get this to stay put, and we don't have to worry about that tape. And here we go. So you can tell a little solder on the bottoms of both pieces. The top wasn't really working, and decided not to on that one just because how I was heating it. So more or less what I did was I took like a piece of just plain old solder. I had no idea what type it is, just solder, and got a propane burner, got this hot, fed it in there, it cooled, you put more, cool, put more, not a problem. Appears to be working. I think we're okay. Well, at least it's better than this, you know. Carb is good. Let's go ahead and work on the pull cord. There's very few things I just can't deal with. And one of them is having too long of a bolt on your recoil here. One, it can, if it goes the wrong way, it's gonna stop your engine, which I originally thought, but we realized that was not the issue. Two, if it's on the other side, like these are right now, you can hurt your hand. So rivets it is. Now, yes, I could just cut the bolts down, but technically these should be riveted anyway. So that's what we're gonna do. If you've never riveted anything before and you think it's a real hard and or expensive process, it's really not. Granted, they have a lot better mechanisms out there, but it's not too expensive. Say that as I get jammed in there and get this pushed out. But it gives you a much more professional look, in my opinion. And you don't have to worry about injuring your hand, cutting yourself, anything. Only thing you have to worry about is one day you might have to drill them, which really to me isn't that big of a problem. I think this little hand riveter is only like 15 bucks. It's not the easiest, especially when you get to the big ones, but it works. And there you have it. They're in there. That's solid. It doesn't look like you just patched it up with some loose hanging screws that are just chilling in your garage. So yeah, go ahead and install this and we'll turn it on. Okay, the fuel is on, it's not leaking, new air filter, new spark plug. Haven't done the oil yet because I wanted to let it run. Choke lever seems to be doing fine. Rivets are looking good. I don't worry about, you know, slamming them into my knuckles, into knuckle busting today. So I think we are good to go to get it running. If it starts, we'll stop it and then we'll connect a few meters on there to see if it's making good power. If it is, then we'll change the oil and we'll be set. I think this is choke. But did I plug it in? I did not. Generally that helps. It doesn't make any clicking noises or anything. Something I did kind of realize after I was putting the cover back on is those little pieces of metal that we saw, I'm pretty sure were the old rivets. I thought they were something to do with the spark plug end, like one of those removable ones, or maybe one broke. But after looking at it a little bit more, it does look like it's just a rivet end. So the rivets broke. He put the screws in, or maybe he drilled them. I don't know. Something happened, but that's what stopped it. Okay, let's get a meter and see what we have for power. For whatever reason, I can't find a heater or my heat gun, so I'm just going to use a drill. It's not that big of a load. Has to be at least a couple hundred watts. The owner didn't want me to check. Didn't want me to check the output, but the engine itself, he said, was fine. So the load, I'm not too concerned over. I just want to see what the voltage is. I would like to put a fairly decent load on it just so I know exactly, but unfortunately this is just not happening today. But we'll see what we get. If it's obscurely off, then we know that there's a problem. Yeah, it's a little bit off. So, taking the cover off, there's a little tab I need to bend just a little bit, because they're only a couple, like 100 or so RPMs away. So it needs to move very gently, very lightly too. Okay, give that a try. Make sure I don't hit my arm. Touch more. There we go. Well, that wasn't the best load, but it was at least 5 amps, so that's good. Yeah, it's definitely a little interesting. I don't think this has an AVR, but I guess we could take a look and make sure. Yeah, I don't really see anything. There could also be one back here, but guess what? That's going to be a different video. I do not see anything else that is going to be affecting this. Granted, we did put a very minor load on there. If we were to put like half, then this would be a whole lot different of a story. Excuse me, you have to hear my head or see my head. But since we still need to go in here, and to be honest, I don't think it's really gonna give us anything just based on the stator I'm seeing. I just don't really suspect that's going to be anything that we could adjust. It's kind of what happens with these style generators though. When they have no load, they will be significantly higher in voltage. So I'll have to tell him if he is planning on using a charger that he's going to want to have a load on there, because once you put a load on there, it's a decent amount of load. You'll be able to probably get that down to like a 122, 124, you know. But adjusting the speed of your generator and everything, like I said, that's a different video. I already have one if it's a brushless system, so watch that. Okay, I'll go ahead and get this one wrapped up. If you like what you see, keep watching, subscribe. Catch me in my next video. Catch me on Small Engine 101 on Instagram. See you later.